6:43 on a busy Tuesday. For the past hour, we've given you complete coverage on the county attorney's decision not to pursue criminal charges in the shooting death of Dion Johnson. So we're now joined by the county attorney's opponent in the upcoming election, Democrat Julie Gunnigle. Julie, I want to thank you for being with us this morning. Now, you put out a statement last night after this decision was made, and you called Allister Adel's decision not to move forward with charges a, quote, act of cowardice. So explain that to us, why you felt that way.
Absolutely. So like most people in our country and across the nation who are paying attention to this case, I was disappointed but not surprised to hear that our unelected county attorney came to the decision that she did. And when I was with Dion's mother yesterday, I remember her saying to me that she knew the officer would not be charged. What I want the public to know is that it is both possible to support law enforcement and hold them to the highest possible standards. When these critical incidents occur, we need law enforcement transparency, we need accountability, we need community partnerships in order to ensure justice, and that's not what we saw yesterday.
Let me ask you this. As a prosecutor, what evidence do you see in this case where you think charges would have been warranted? What do you see here?
Sure. So, it's not the role of someone who's running for this office to be, to evaluate whether or not charges should be brought. What I want to drive home is what the good process should be. And what we saw yesterday was that there was not that thorough investigation. In fact, the investigation that happened into Trooper Cervantes' past was done via Google rather than via the process, which should have been through employee personnel files. This process should be transparent. It should use feedback from the community, and it should be updating the victim's family as it progresses. And last, it should produce results. Since 2011, we have had 470 police shootings here in Maricopa County. Only 2 have led to charges. There is something wrong in the system and in the process.
Okay, the county attorney said she worked with the review board to come up with that decision and help her on that. I want to move on, though, and touch on something you just mentioned. You talk about this. You said that there is racism in the criminal justice system. So how do we begin to resolve that and reform that and make sure that our communities of color here in Maricopa County feel like they're getting protected equally as white communities are?
Great question. First, we need to start by electing a county attorney who sees the issues in criminal justice. Our unelected county attorney was asked whether or not there was systemic racism, and her answer was that she would hold accountable any prosecutor who inappropriately used race. And that shows me and showed the community that she doesn't get it. The way we reform our system is being radically transparent with our data, is making sure that the community knows who is being charged, why, when, and being reflective once we have those data points so that we can make policy such that something like this never happens again.
Do you think the trooper in this case, Trooper Cervantes, should he be fired? Should he lose his job?
He should be subjected to a transparent process that is part of due process, and it should be expected, with the same regard as anybody else. Nobody is above the law.
Okay, Democrat Julie Gunnigle, who is running for the office of county attorney against Allister Adel. We want to thank you for being with us this morning and giving us your input on this critically important case in our county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and a lot more election coverage, of course, continuing. We have 6 weeks left until November 3rd.